What is up YouTube, James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019, or Baek Battles. Today we're using the Reshiram team once again with Reshiram, Tapu Koko, Groudon, Venusaur, Scrafty, and Stakataka. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, I highly recommend go checking them out because they were some pretty good battles in the last episode. And of course, if you do want to see a potential QR code of this team, 175 likes is the like goal for this video and all the other videos we use this Reshiram team, and if we hit it within the 2 weeks of the final episode being uploaded, we will have a QR code of this team on the globe link for everyone to try out. Of course, there is a pay spin of the team down below if you do want to already go try it out on Pokemon Showdown. But yeah, I am kind of liking Reshiram actually. Reshiram has been pretty fun so far. The Z move, I don't think we really have used the Z move to where, you know, it's been a super strong necessary nuke, but it's been really fun regardless. But we got Fede as our first opponent from Italy, 1666 rating. With that standard Lunala Xerneas team. So Lunala, Xerneas, Smeargle, Crobat, Incineroar, Toxicroak. What do I want to exactly go is the question. Probably Scrafty, Stakataka was my first choice. Yeah, they were probably the best options I had. Is there a way I could potentially, you know, play around that? I mean, I could go Groudon, Venusaur and attempt to sleep powder things. Not exactly the best strategy in my opinion, so kind of liking Scrafty and Stakataka as a lead. Maybe have Reshiram and Groudon on the back like we did, what was it, the first time we played this team? It worked out. Not exactly sure if that's how it's going to work this time because, again, the two leads usually what I would see against my team would be Lunala plus Crobat, which is kind of difficult to handle, or potentially the Xerneas plus, you know, something like Incineroar or Smeargle, for instance. So, yeah, it's going to be really hard. I have multiple different win cons. If I can get rid of Xerneas, Scrafty kind of wins this game. If I can get rid of the Lunala, my Stakataka can win this game because I don't think you bring Toxicroak against a Tapu Koko, a Groudon, and a Reshiram. You might be inclined to bring it because of the Toxicroak, but I think you would rather play support the Lunala or Xerneas a bit more, and I don't think that really involves Toxicroak here. And Toxicroak, other than Stakataka, really doesn't do too much against my team. I guess it can wall Venusaur, but I don't think it's really worth bringing if I was my opponent. So we'll see how this goes. Again, if I can get rid of one of the restrictions on my opponent's team, it's a lot easier to deal with the other, but of course I do have to be wary because I can't let Stakataka take too much damage. I do need it to be as healthy as possible, which is really important in this matchup. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to see the Incineroar and Crobat lead, huh? Okay, I do get an Intimidate off, which is nice. That Intimidate's good onto the Incineroar. I guess the question is what you really want to do here. You could attempt to go for Fake Out. I don't think that's a play. I really kind of just want to go for a Fake Out Rock Slide into the Incineroar. I don't really see a drawback. You could taunt here to Stack Attack. I really don't mind not getting Trick Room up. I think that is definitely worth it to me. So I think I'm just going to go for the Fake Out Rock Slide. If Lunala comes in, it doesn't really threaten my Scrafty slot, and I could always switch out Stakataka. I am kind of worried about Xerneas come in, but I don't think he would do that, as we're going to get a Fake Out. Let's see, we should see the Taunt. It's actually the Super Fang instead. That's actually a good play on my opponent's end, and that kind of makes it a bit more difficult for me, especially since I missed a Crobat, and Crobat was actually pretty important to damage on because it would probably been like maybe around a 2 KO. I would have been able to get some really good damage on a Crobat, prevent a taunt situation in the following turn, or at least maybe put in range into a knockoff situation. But now it's a bit more complicated as I won't be able to do that. So yeah, that's not good. You probably just taunt, Stack Attack, and U-turn. That's what I would do if I was my opponent. I kind of want to knock off the Incineroar slot. Get rid of the... Do I want to knock off the Incineroar slot? Getting rid of the Crobat I think is really important. I think I'm going to knock off the Crobat and just protect here. That really kind of stings here for me. I'm going to protect here. We should probably see a U-turn and a taunt coming out. It's the Super Fang again, actually, into the Scrafty. Does miss that time, but, like, I don't think that was really important for me. We do get rid of the Mago Berry, so that's a change. A knockoff into the Stakataka slot. I'm wondering if this Crobat doesn't actually have taunt. because it's Moggle Berry, so it's definitely a change set, and my opponent went for a knockoff. I wonder if Super Fang and a Flare Blitz would knock out Stack Attack at -1. I kind of doubt it. If that's the case, I kind of want to just go for a knockoff into the Incineroar slot and attempt to Trick Room, because if I can get it, this would be really nice here. So we are going to finally see a taunt after so many turns. Alright, a taunt into Stack Attack. We will knock off whatever this Incineroar is carrying though, so yeah, we are going to get rid of that berry. I didn't want to low kick putting into the berry range, as yeah, we're going to see a knockoff in the Stack Attacker, which is not good here, as I can't Trick Room either. So yeah, not exactly the best situation here. I think what I have to do is like knock off the Incineroar slot. I probably just U-turn out, I would assume. You should U-turn out. I don't think you should have a hard switch into Xerneas. I think I'm just going to low kick and try to put it in the range of Reshiram, because now I think I have to rely on Reshiram in order to win this game. So we'll keep Stack Attack around, because that is always a target my opponent does have to keep in mind in the back if you do try for the Xerneas sweep. So we'll bring out the Reshiram here, and we'll see what my opponent decides to do. It's going to be a Super Fang, probably in this Scrafty slot, I would imagine. Yep. So that's fine. I'm going to be able to get a low kick off into the Incineroar slot, which does bring it low. I'm pretty sure it does put in range of the Heat Wave. We're going to see knockoff in the Scrafty, which is fine as well. So I think the best play is just to knock off the Incin and attempt to Tailwind in case you try to just Super Fang. I think that's the better play. I'm not sure if you expect a Tailwind or not. I think if I can get Tailwind up and my opponent just goes for the raw Super Fang, it's worth here. But we are going to see just a taunt in the Reshiram. So safe play for my opponent. No surprise there, as I won't be able to get Tailwind up. And this is kind of bad because my opponent now gets Tailwind up, which is really bad. You should U-turn here. But just going to go for the Flare Blitz. Maybe my opponent just wants to free switch in by KOing Incineroar. Scrafty survives. Incineroar actually survives, which is kind of funny. I could go Groudon here, actually, and fire off a Heat Wave, and I might be able to knock out both of my opponent's Pokemon this way. So I think I'm going to go for that attempt. I might as well save Scrafty for one. It still probably takes one Lunala's hit, so that might be useful, and I'll be able to get a Heat Wave off. I'm hoping my opponent does go for Tailwind. If it's Super Fang, it gets a little bit complicated here, but it is a Super Fang. But Reshiram avoids, which is nice. The Heat Wave going to come out here, going to be targeting down the Incineroar, and will do good damage to the Crobat, but that's not a knockout. It does get a burn, but I don't think the burn really helps me too much here, as Incineroar goes down, which is nice. But yeah, that's not exactly the ideal spot I want to be in. We'll see what my opponent decides to bring in. I'm guessing the Lunala here. Yeah, I would guess the Lunala if I was my opponent. If it's the Xerneas, I just go for a Rock Tomb and a Blue Flare. It is going to be the Xerneas coming out. Wonder if he would Super Fang right here and Moonblast instead. It of course depends on if the Xerneas is timid, because I'd outspeed it with Reshiram. I think it is important to try and get rid of the Xerneas, or at least be faster than it. So I think I'm just going to double up with a Blue Z-Move and Rock Tomb. Don't think Swords Nest is really helpful here, because I could always get threatened by a Super Fang plus a attack from my opponent. We're going to see the Xerneas protect, which is fine. If Crobat goes on the offense, that's not too bad either, because yeah, it's a Super Fang. It's going to target down my Groudon slot, actually, so it's not my Reshiram. I'm going to be able to get the Z-move off, and this is still going to do a good amount to Xerneas to protect. I'd still imagine at least 25%. I would at least imagine 25%. It's a Blue Flare in the sun. It's not boosted on the Xerneas either. So we'll go for the Inferno Overdrive. Let's see how much it does to the Xerneas, because if it does a good amount, we're still in this game. We will be able to get the Inferno Overdrive off into my opponent. Ooh, nice 30%. Rock Tomb into the Xerneas. Precipice Blades doesn't really change much, I feel like here. Taunt does wear off, which is nice, because here, if I expect the Super Fang plus a Timid Moonblast coming out of my Reshiram, I could just go for the Tailwind right here. But I think overall, I'd rather just go for the Rock Tomb in the Xerneas. And I could Protect or Blue Flare. I think I'd rather Blue Flare, because I think I'd never... Or a Heat Wave. Hey, Heat Wave's better, because Heat Wave and a Rock Tomb would knock out the Xerneas anyway. I'm going to Heat Wave. Plus, it's more accurate than Rock Tomb and Blue Flare anyway. And I don't need the immediate knockout on Xerneas. I just got to make sure Xerneas doesn't set up properly. But, oh, the reason I want to go for Blue Flare is because if you Geomancy right here, although I don't know if you would Geomancy. That's the thing. I just don't know if my opponent would Geomancy in this situation. We're going to see Brave Bird. It's actually not... Okay, so wait. This Crobat doesn't have Tailwind, does it? It crits me. Why'd you Brave Bird in that position? Why not just Super Fang? Okay, that's confusing. We're going to see a Moonblast in a Reshiram. Doesn't knock out. I get a Heat Wave off. That should be a double knockout into the... As long as I hit Rock Tomb. But the Xerneas is low enough to where I need it to be. And I get a Rock Tomb off. I do connect. I'm sorry, but that's just such a confusing Brave Bird right there. I don't see a reason not to click Super Fang there. Because Brave Bird into Moonblast was definitely not going to be enough. Because Reshiram has decent bulk. It actually has pretty good special defense. I think it's like 120 if I remember right. I guess my opponent's been missing Super Fangs throughout the game. Of course, I also missed a Rock Slide early on. And I guess the Rock Slide would have been nice overall though. The burn, I guess, kind of mattering. But, I mean... I don't know. I don't see a reason not to just Super Fang there. As we just Rock Tomb Tailwind, I guess. As we're going to see the Z move come out. I'm not going to double protect. There's no reason to double protect because the Z move would probably just knock out my... It would knock out... I think... Would Moongeist Beam knock out Groudon at this range? I don't think it would. I don't think there's a point of wasting momentum turns by just going for double protect here when I could just keep throwing out the offensive pressures. We're going to see a Z move into the Groudon slot, which is fine. That's probably going to pick up the knockout, but as long as I connect move with Reshiram, I should still be able to win this game. Especially since you use the Z move now, my Scrafty should live a Moongeist Beam and get one guaranteed knockoff into the Lunala. Potentially two, if my opponent doesn't get triple protect here, which is what could happen. We will Tailwind up. And yes, I could go for Blue Flare, but I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave. It is safer. Oh, my Scrafty was actually lower than I remember. And it was because my opponent went for Flare Blitz, right. So we will go Scrafty here. We do outspeed the Lunala, I believe, by 1 point. No, we outspeed it by a few because of the speed investment I have. I'm just going to go for Knockoff and Heat Wave. Yeah. So I'm guaranteed at least one attack off. Lunala going to protect to stall out, which is fine. Again, it's going to come down... I could still lose, actually. I could very easily still lose. I have to connect hits with Reshiram. If I connect this Heat Wave, I'm pretty sure that's game already. But, yeah, if I don't, that's problematic. Because I'm not sure how much Blue Flare does to the Lunala. So we'll go for the Blue Flare. We'll go for the Heat Wave. We'll go for Knockoff. We do connect Heat Wave, which is nice, and Knockoff should finish it off since it is Stab Dark type. Ooh, it actually survives. Okay. But it's going to come down to does Reshiram actually... Oh, does Reshiram actually hit an attack, I think? Oh, wait, you don't target... Okay. Targeting the Reshiram was a choke. Because now I get in Stack Attack. It's the last turn I Trick Room. I 100% win this game is going for Knockoff into Trick Room here because it's the last turn I Tailwind. Lunala can't Scrafty outspeed, so Lunala under Tailwind. You can protect to stall it out, but then I Trick Room up and then I'm still faster regardless. So, yeah, interesting target into Reshiram. I think my opponent had to like hope Reshiram missed every attack there. As we'll go for the Knockoff into the Lunala and Trick Room here on the last turn of Tailwind just to guarantee. Well, either way, I just click Knockoff into Gyro Ball regardless. Like, I think targeting down to Reshiram was like the big mistake. I guess maybe my opponent was worried. I don't know what you were really worried about though. I don't know what you were really worried about. You had to go for misses in order to win this game. You had to hope that I missed Heat Wave again into the Lunala. Then you try to knock out my Stack Attacker and hope I miss a Heat Wave, and then you'd be able to win the game because you outspeed. Unless I went for Tailwind, but then I'd still have to hit one Heat Wave or Blue Flare. Obviously, I would go for Heat Wave. It's more accurate, but we are able to pick up a win. Not the cleanest game. Definitely don't think it's the cleanest game. The Rock Slide miss did kind of hurt me, but I did get super fortunate with some Super Fangs missing, so we'll take those. And I guess the Flare Blitz burn, but I don't really think the Flare Blitz burn mattered. I still think you always go for Super Fang in a Reshiram that one turn. Also, really weird Crobat. It was no Tailwind, which is surprising because usually you do want Tailwind on Crobat. It is probably one of the best speed controls. So it was Brave Bird, Super Fang, Taunt. Actually, did it have Tailwind? I don't think we revealed it. It might have been Tailwind actually. It might not have been Haze. Brave Bird, Super Fang, Taunt. Yeah, I think those are the only moves we revealed. Unless we did see Tailwind and I'm just blanking out, but yeah, so did we see Tailwind though? I just don't think we did. I just don't think we did see Tailwind. Although my opponent was just trying to weaken me for everything else, it was a timid Xerneas. Still surprised there was no Super Fang, because Brave Bird into Moonblast was definitely not going to do enough to the Reshiram. So yeah, we are able to pick up a win there. I don't know, I felt like definitely my opponent definitely got me off guards with the Super Fangs instead of going for the taunt, and then got me on the right turn with the taunt, with the bait. So that was nice by my opponent, but again, I still don't... It's still that one turn that bothers me. Clicking Brave Bird instead of Super Fang. Yeah, I don't know. But we're going to be right back with the second game of today's battle. It is taking quite a bit, so we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode. Alright, we got Negan from Italy, 1601 rating as our second opponent of today. Oh boy. Why are we facing Lunala? Lunala Xerneas is definitely, I think, one of the hard matchups with this team. It really is difficult. Let's see, there's no Smeargle, which is pretty nice. I don't have to worry about like those spores, but I do have a new offensive threat in the Tapu Koko that I'm gonna have to deal with, because that Tapu Koko, if it specs, it throws off a lot of damage onto my team. So again, I think it's the same game plan, unless I want to switch it up, because Venusaur Sludge Bomb is looking more threatening, but don't exactly like that. I am gonna go to Scrafty. Plus Stack Attack. That Tapu Koko has Gleam. We're gonna have some trouble. I have to Groudon and Reshiram in the back. We'll see how this game goes. Again, I think this is the best game plan. Because against Lunala, it's just Lunala is a really threatening Pokemon to this team, because I can't really lead the Lele Reshiram. It's what I like to really lead against Xerneas normally. But the problem with it is Lunala, 1, takes advantage of Psychic Terrain, 2, can knock out Lele in one hit, 3 has Tailwind support as well for the Xerneas, and a double up, since it's faster than Reshiram, if like a Xerneas Lunala leads, you can literally double up the Reshiram turn 1 and knock it out, and then I'm in a very disadvantageous position. So regardless, no matter what I do with the Reshiram plus Tapu Lele lead, it's kind of the one problems with this team, I feel like, which is why I had Gengar originally on this team. Just for that matchup, because again, this matchup is very difficult, I feel like, for this current version we have here. But let us see if we can pull it off. We have beaten this team before. Fortunately, I don't know how we've been doing it so far. We did get, I guess, lucky. Tapu Koko plus Lunala is gonna lead here. Alright, do you have Dazzling Gleam? Do you have Dazzling Gleam? That is a very big question. I mean, if you Z move into Stack Attack, it's not going to KO because of 1, I do have that. Okay. 1 Scrafty should be able to live 1 Dazzling Gleam. Don't think it's really worth doing that, though. I think it is just better to go for the Fake Out into the Tapu Koko and just Trick Room up. Even if we take a Z off the bat, I feel like we're still in a better position with this. So, yeah, we'll go for this play. I definitely think that this play is better, because getting a Trick Room up just forces my opponent to play a bit differently. We're going to see the Lunala actually switch into the Incineroar, so this actually works out beautifully for me. As Incineroar is going to be coming out, it's not really going to be putting on too much offensive pressure against my team. And yeah, this looks pretty good actually. Surprised the Lunala is going to retreat, but maybe just 1 doesn't want to take, I don't know, maybe the Shao should be being broken. So you have to assume Xerneas is in the back. I don't see a reason why Xerneas wouldn't be in the back if you're bringing it to my team. I don't see Toxicroak being brought here. I could see Crobat, but I don't think Crobat's good enough. I think I'm just gonna double switch here and just draw some offense right here because Groudon gets to click Precipice Blades for free on my opponent. And we're gonna switch in Groudon for the Stack Attacker slot because he might go for the Volt Switch into that slot. And yeah, I feel like just Groudon coming in with that Precipice Blade strat is gonna be strong. I also want to retreat Scrafty so I can maybe switch it back in for an Intimidate round. And I could go for like Fake Out Swords Dance potentially. So we're gonna get my Reshiram in. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here. It's going to be, if you catch this with a Grass Knot, which is something my opponent could definitely go for here, it definitely would be impressive. But we're going to see Fake Out and Stack Attacker, and yeah, Dazzling and Gleam. So, no surprise there, as does a good amount to my Groudon, actually. I could get my Scrafty in, which wouldn't be too bad. I think Groudon should live a Flare Blitz, though, at this range, but just to be safe, I'll go Scrafty regardless, because I don't see a reason not to just go Scrafty, and Sword Stance is to play. I'm gonna Sword Stance. I'm gonna Sword Stance just in case you try to go aggressive here. Should I just Precipice Blades? Because if you Gleam my Scrafty coming in, I don't think it would KO. But if you're Specs, it's not exactly good for me. And you might be Specs actually. Huh. I think Tapu Koko might want to switch out into Lunala and fake out the Groudon, but we'll see here. I'm going to bring in Scrafty, get the Intimidate off into the Incineroar and the Tapu Koko. I guess if it Specs, it's, if it knocks on my Scrafty, yeah, I'm in trouble. But we do see the Tapu Koko retreat, which is good. Going to be out into that Lunala once again, which is no surprise there. As what are we going to see? Incineroar goes for U-turn, so this works out beautifully for me because if Xerneas wants to come in, that's fine as well. Critical hit is a bit annoying, but we'll take it regardless. I think the crit might put me in range of Moongeist Beam. I'm not exactly 100% sure. Should probably see the Xerneas coming in. The question is, if Xerneas comes in, do I want to go for the double Sword Stance here, expecting double Protect, for instance? Xerneas is going to come in, no surprise. I could threaten a Precipice Blades and then knockoff right here. I think what I want to do is actually get my Reshiram in, as we do Sword Stance here. So the Xerneas gets in for free, no damage. Man, I could just fire off a Heat Wave, and that would have been amazing for my position. Like, a Heat Wave would have been fantastic for my position. I do want to get Reshiram in. And I think I just want to go for... I'd rather Precipice Blades here because I don't want my opponent to set up. Yes, if I get the double Protect read and my opponent goes for a double Protect and I get it, I am able to basically threaten everything with a +4 Precipice Blades, maybe +3 if Incineroar decides to come back in. But like, I think it's better just to go for damage immediately, as we're going to see the Xerneas retreat, so Incineroar might be coming out once again. Yep. Does Lunala protect here? Because that's risky if I go for the knockoff Precipice Blades combination into the Lunala, which might be able to knock out, but let's see. You might have Wide Guard, for instance. Nope. Precipice Blaze does come out. I am able to hit the Incineroar, so that should at least knock it out. We are +1, and we'll be able to break that Shadow Shield on Lunala. So not a bad turn, let's say, but that's still an interesting spot, as we're going to see the Z move come out from the Lunala. It's going to be that, was it Moonraze Maelstrom? Okay, so I'm guessing this has to go into Groudon here. You're not going to target the Scrafty with the slot, unless you predicted the Reshiram switch. Good for you, but like, I think I just get Stack Attacker in and I'd still be in a very safe position. It's going to be that Groudon, so we are going to get knocked out to this, which is fine for me. I feel like even with this trade, I think it works out for me because of the fact that now I can go on a Stack Attacker here and threaten, I don't know, Gyro Ball, and I get threaten a lot of things here, as we're going to see the Groudon take a bunch of damage. And, this is still... Okay, yeah, I definitely go Stack Attacker here. No reason to go Scrafty here, in my opinion. And I could Tailwind on this last turn, which is what I'm looking into, because if I Tailwind here, and my opponent double protects, I'm in a very solid spot here. So let's see what's going to come out. Xerneas is going to come out. I think I always Gyro Ball and Tailwind here. Luckily, Game Ready Incineroar was super nice on here because of the fact that now, because of the fact I got rid of the Incineroar, a Gyro Ball is always going to knock out the Xerneas. Unless it's like some kind of crazy min speed Xerneas with like, I don't know. But we Tailwind here. We Gyro Ball, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna Tailwind Gyro Ball. I don't think Moongeist Beam should knock out Reshiram at this range. Even if you don't, let's say, I'm pretty sure it's a double protect coming out here, which is why I'm going for the Gyro Ball plus Tailwind play. But this covers pretty much if Xerneas attacks here or if Lunala decides to attack here, because I'm pretty sure with this combination, I'll be fine regardless. We're going to see the Tapu Koko come in, which is fine too. I wonder if that gets knocked out to Gyro Ball. And Lunala protects too, which is fantastic here. Basically, what I want is a lot of pressure here with the Gyro Ball into the Tapu Koko. Oh, dang, that knocks it out. Alright, we get to knock out the Tapu Koko, and second attack is strong. Okay, so we were able to get a Beast Boost defense, but that doesn't really matter. We do get the Tailwind up, which is basically what I wanted here, because that Tailwind is super crucial here, because now my Reshiram will be able to outspeed this Lunala, and outspeeding the Lunala is basically what I want here, as I did assume to protect play, because it didn't want to get knocked out by a fire move in the sun. So the reason why I wanted to make this play is now I'm able to threaten a lot here with a Inferno Overdrive into the Lunala slot, which will be able to KO, and I threaten the Xerneas with a Gyro Ball. Because as long as I knock out one of these Pokemon right here, I win with one of my Pokemon back. If I knock out the Xerneas, my Scrafty wins, and if I knock out the Lunala, my Sakataka wins. So regardless, I'm in a really good spot. And yeah, I didn't expect to catch the Tapu Koko on the switch-in, but that ended up working in my favor. I was able to knock out the Tapu Koko. That's one less switch-in, and now my opponent's trapped in with both Pokemon. So we are going to be able to take a win, which is really nice here. I think this matchup definitely, I think, was better. I was just able to get Trick Room up, was able to get Swords Dance up with Groudon, was able to get the Incineroar and break that Shadow Shield. Last turn of Tailwind, I was able to get... Last turn of Trick Room, I was able to get a Tailwind up. That Tailwind just ended up being super crucial to this match because, as you saw, the Gyro Ball momentum that I had into Xerneas slot. Let's say my opponent double protected, right? In that scenario, if you double protect with Xerneas and Lunala, I Gyro Ball into the Xerneas, you know, protected. I Tailwind up, and next turn I can threaten a Blue Flare knockout into the Lunala slot, and a Gyro Ball once again into the Tapu Koko slot, and I would have been... Not on Tapu Koko, into the Xerneas slot regardless, and I would have been threatening 2 knockouts potentially, and my opponent couldn't save both Pokemon at the same time. So, yeah, and if one protected, let's say the Xerneas protecting that situation, and the Lunala went for a Moongeist Beam into my Reshiram, I'm pretty sure that I would have lived Moongeist Beam at that range I was at. So, then I would be able to threaten the Z move potentially into the Reshiram slot and get Gyro Ball off into the Xerneas slot, and I'm pretty sure I would still have been able to knock out the Xerneas regardless. And the Tapu Koko in. I'm not sure if we would knock out the Tapu Koko because of the Tailwind reducing the damage of Gyro Ball a bit, but if it did, then I guess it really doesn't matter in that scenario. And then I had Scrafty under Tailwind, which has to be Lunala and the Xerneas, and I pressure a lot regardless. So yeah, I felt like overall, like no matter what, I was going to be in a good position under Tailwind, no matter what, because I pretty much got a knockout into something. But hope that you enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Back Battles. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. It shows the support. As well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side series on my channel, and all that good stuff. My Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram pages. You can also check out my Patreon page if you want to go that extra mile. You can feel free to leave a comment down below as I do try to read them. Otherwise, yeah, there's the pastebin again once down below. If you want to support this video and me, be sure to hit that like button, especially if you did enjoy the episode. But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people, and until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.